Speaking here. 대 페페 주로라 주로 탐지를 정말 다시 되게 좋은데 내 탁시 타를 모는 페비오래 내 타니선을 페빈다 저 보면 닝바 남망시에 에 지는 어떤 사바 대 상하왕 10만 명이 되고 왕 10만 명이 왕시바 동다 가는 에 대한 맞을 로마는 살아남은 당소 로만 닝바 탑지들이 왕만 보시고 요리고도 냐면 뭐 요래 로마 사바는 왕등 어두마 지는데 양득가 말에 왕동 유래지는 토바이 송 토바이 돼서 뭐지 저는 왕시바는 뭐 두래 되니 물을 못 쳤는데 상지를 민주요바 심진 상지를 멤버스 봐서 뭐 두기 정말
So first of all, hello Dashidela to all my Dharma friends. Some of you came from more far away, and some of you, most of you are senior disciples from the local area. But if there's someone of you who is very new to this, who has never received any empowerment of the Vajrayana, of the secret mantra, and first of all, please raise your hand because it is important to understand the meaning of the empowerment. And many of you have received many empowerments before and also engaged in practice. But if you're completely new, then it would not be okay not to give you an introduction. Because Lord Jigten Sumgön had said, only when you understand the meaning of the empowerment have you actually received the empowerment. And so the empowerment actually is an introduction that shows us that a precious human body can ripen into a Buddha, or a sentient being can ripen into a Buddha. And so for that, the introduction is very important. So please raise your hand if you have never received empowerment before.
나 용용이네 전나 답이 줄록 있으면 이거 되는 대화도 되면 답 동에서 답이 있으면 주대 체들하고서 대화도 되면 답이 이 답이 줄록 되는 기와는 기와 체랍이 체랍 탐지를 되니 대화도 되면 답 동에서 답 대리 이 대로 답이 줄록 나야 되니 다 소타를 상징상 하선 봤으면 요래 이게 기왕 하마는 그 상급 사축선의 양고 최종의 되는데다 시합 최종의 왕도 되는데니 남들은 봤으면 성발이 대양들이 당보매도 사용 요 들이매도 간데 들이매도 대답을 생긴 삼체로 사실은 행보 열에 샘대군의 사실은 행보 요장 그렇게 민바라더니 열람데 그래서 한 열람송 체질을 좀 상대 탑 상하가 제발
So there are not so many who are completely new to this, and so in general there are two systems. There is the spiritual system of the Dharma, and then the worldly system. And both of these systems try to find ways to be happy and not to suffer. And so according to the worldly system, that is only focused on this lifetime. So in the worldly system, we try to find happiness in this life. And then according to the religious, the Dharma system, we try to find ways to achieve happiness and be free from suffering throughout many lifetimes, from lifetime to lifetime in the future. And so for this purpose, the Buddha taught the three levels of the path, the Pratimoksha, Bodhisattva, and the Vajrayana vehicles. And so due to a different degree of training in bodhicitta in previous lives, we also now have different degrees of wisdom. And depending on that degree of wisdom, the Buddha taught the three levels of the path. And that is just like the continuum of a flower. So first you have the seed, and then the sprout, and then the flower bud, and then you have the flower. And so that a seed is the Buddha nature that all sentient beings possess. Since we all have a mind, we all possess Buddha nature, and that has the potential to ripen. And it ripens through the method of the secret mantra quickly. So it is referred to as the quick or the swift path. It is the Vajrayana is a method to attain enlightenment in a single lifetime, a single body.
조바 파신 쪽 용어들이 제가 망부지리 설계하래. 이 상하에다 사축을 쓰는 보지 줄을 지리 다다 랑기 리드 박차 용어를 제름 마가 박차 용어를 나 대바 등지 공부하지. 대형 난 리드 박차 용어를 제름 용어는 되게 들었지 스스로가 봐 다른 거 요래 낭하가 달아지는 하콜로지는 하고 달아지는 낭랑 그 아가 다동 지지지 또봐 제시들이 습자인데 봐양 다음을 요리 냠데 이 제외 체질 위주로 상계거든요. rappardo tambo 진정 봐도 니바 탐마 봐도 순발 상계하다 봐 이 대답을 람 예를 들어서 한 람송 진짜 또 왕시 봐도 라만이 말이 저는 라왕 당보대 산족 세부랑 나징이 바디 이왕기베나 제 이왕의 성리 이 유몽초고 왕도 묘요리 선대식인 보네 유몽초고 왕도 성리들이 노를 두고 참는 거요. 제 이왕기 이왕 탑제 동해에서 라왕 강인하더니 산족을 쓰는 보지 줄들이 라왕 통고들 라왕 통에 유목과 독대 파시족을 나는 돈에 들이 내가 점바다 저천 라소발에 되네 소리대가 Then Tato something in the Shirablatini, then Tato Sanji, Compang Toya, Data Routine, then he did that, Sanjo Nabani, around in bad. They want the Ramani, but they take a ritual than he. That Sanchuk Sangu Sanjurama, Tomnayang, Luja Pacha Yomala, Jerenta, Mark Pacha Yoma, the Madi, but this are hard to money, but Nilam, this only already. The same around, but you don't. Sancho was some millions on Alia, and it came back to your Mary. Thought in Sancho was some body yesterday.
So the difference between the sutras and the tantras is the empowerment. And so in the sutras we also cultivate, first we cultivate a renunciation to samsara, and then we develop the precious bodhicitta, and then with that we practice the 6 paramitas and attain enlightenment after several lifetimes of practicing. And then, according to the Vajrayana, we also give rise to the precious bodhicitta, that is the same. But in the Vajrayana also, we purify the imprints of the body through the practice of the generation stage. And then we purify the imprints of the speech through the mantra recitation and the samadhi of this mantra recitation and visualization. And so by doing that, we purify also the inner imprint of the body through the visualization of the generation stage. And when we do that, we also purify the grasping to the outer forms. And then by reciting the mantra and through the mantra garland, we purify the imprints of the speech, the grasping at the ordinary speech. And then likewise we also purify the grasping at the outer sounds that we hear. And that is the skillful means to attain enlightenment in a single life, in a single body. And then ideally, according to the Vajrayana, we attain enlightenment in the first bardo, or in the second bardo, or in the third bardo. So that is why the secret mantra is referred to as the swift path. And then the empowerment also means to gain a sort of a freedom, power. And the first freedom of power that we actually attain is that of bodhicitta. Because through bodhicitta we destroy self-grasping. And it is because we grasp at a self that we are controlled by the afflictions. Because we are in the grip of self-grasping, we are controlled by the 6 afflictions, although we possess Buddha nature. And as a result, we wander in the 6 realms of samsara. It is said that all lack of self-control has the nature of suffering. So the first self-control or freedom we attain through cultivating the precious bodhicitta. And then on the basis of that, if there is bodhicitta, then the 6 afflictions will become the 6 paramitas. And then temporarily, through the practices of generosity, ethical discipline, and so on, we achieve the happiness of the higher realms. And then ultimately, by practicing meditation and cultivating wisdom, we attain the state of enlightenment. So ultimately, we attain freedom by cultivating the twofold bodhicitta. So the empowerment is a means to attain such freedom, to attain enlightenment in a single life, in a single body. And that freedom is ultimately based on the precious bodhicitta. And then in the secret mantra, on the basis of bodhicitta, then we also purify the imprints of the body through the generation stage, and the imprints of the speech through the mantra recitation. So these are the special qualities of the secret mantra of the Vajrayana, and which is why it becomes the swift path. But in terms of the freedom of the mind, which is the precious bodhicitta, the sutras and the tantras are actually the same. And so therefore, if we practice the Vajrayana without bodhicitta, then this practice is of not much benefit. So it is most important to engage the practice of Vajrayana on the basis of the precious bodhicitta.
Kurzaga, La, Kursaga, Roma, Gunga, Lopun, something Jevati, Pushigori, Kangina, Kurzaga, Lada, Gunga, Lopun, Kursaga, Roma, Sanki, Sebu Jude, Sunchipa, Jingu Jupa, and by the Jessican boy, when the Pona, Jessie, somebody Pena. Simple doing some body, some district would draw and would chop some Saji Chokyi Drolma. Simply on the Saji is on the Tatam City, simply some Saji, Mari, some Hovatome, or in the water, but the Rola Soba. No got that of a very summer. In the district, oh, simple doing the simply on the Saji is about the simple doing Tambodi, a local doing our Chiparis, Nibadi, Yimanki. 온적 로버트 메이트 단디자 뉴모비 지원 같으니 다다 로버트들이 마상도 올라서 봐 들이 신기 장미바 들은 로아를 올라서 봐 성소라서 봐 샤리어디 옛날에 선대식 보대 이제서 드라마가 대하고네 들이 될 로버트마 드마 대서 사지 우송 사지 까는 송바리 들이 시절 사지 까체마 송고요리 번째 대성고가 송을 까상가는 양력으로 또 이죠 까상 통고요 까상 통고요에 대외 다들 드마서 알든 데다 샘저 드마데 상적 생기사고 요래 일루저 드마 제런의 사람 나도 드마 다디엔 드마데 들이 나데 발라서 막나 달아티네 들이 자동들이 저 똑바사는 들이 누가 있음 로버 마다부터 서비스는 이 똑바하게 구성도 딱부지를 이제 민속고요리 대사적 생계라도 사제지 이 단지가 나도 노알도 내갑대다 차대요리 이제 신인들 안에 받으시죠 그 전부요리 대신들이 줄이 대통령고요 말 그 생기 상태로 사제가 저요 봐시는 소리요 말이 다 주로 장인 나다 쪽 나긴이 지나서 봤던지 매번 보고 요래 대시죽기 좀 보래야지.
And so then first it is important that we understand the relationship between the deity from whom we receive the empowerment, the Vajra master who confers the empowerment, and then the disciple who receives the empowerment. And so it is that the mental continuum of the deity, the master, and the disciple, and actually all sentient beings is the same. And that mental continuum is Buddha nature, or in the Samantabhadra prayer, it is referred to as the single basis. The Buddha said, Buddha nature pervades all beings. And also the Buddha said, within all sentient beings there is the Buddha. And so then one might object and think, sentient beings are not Buddhas because we all suffer in the 6 realms of samsara, and as animals and humans and so on, there is great suffering, so we are not really Buddhas. But so here it is important to understand the qualities of Buddha nature. And if you understand these qualities, you understand that the mental continuum of all beings is the same. So to begin with, the first connection that we have is that mental continuum of Buddha nature, which is like an electricity line, like a light line through which we are connected. And then the second way in which we connect is through attaining mental freedom by cultivating bodhicitta. So now we are controlled by afflictions. So the Buddha said, although all beings are Buddhas, they are temporarily obscured. And what obscures them is self-grasping and the afflictions. So temporarily there is a manifestation of humans and animals and all the countless sentient beings in the 6 realms and the 3 lower realms and so on. However, all those beings possess Buddha nature, and that basis of Buddha nature never changes. So that is important to understand. And then the Buddha also said, when these temporary obscurations are cleared away, then all beings are actually Buddhas. So that is the actual authentic word of the Buddha that we can trust in. And Jigten Somgon also said, a practice that is contrary to the words of the Buddha is a wrong a practice holding a wrong view or misconception. So all practices, Buddhist practices, must agree with the words of the Buddha. And it actually, what we are mentioning here, does agree with the words of the Buddha. So those temporary stains to be cleared away are the stains of the mind that are cleared away by bodhicitta. Then the stains of the body are cleared away through the generation stage, and the stains of the speech, the grasping to speech, is cleared away through the mantra recitation. And in this way, we clarify the temporarily impure ordinary body, speech, and mind, and transform it into the enlightened, pure body, speech, and mind of the deity. So we become the illusory form of the deity. So beings can ripen. We can ripen into that state of the deity. The manifestation of bodhicitta is the Buddha, enlightenment. The manifestation of self-grasping are the 6 realms of samsara temporarily. So first it is important to understand that single basis, and that the basis of our mind, the basic nature of mind, is ever unchanging. And if you understand that, you will become free of all doubts. If you understand that all beings possess this nature, they all possess Buddha nature, then there will be no bias in your mind. Then there is no grasping at good or bad dharma. Then there is no grasping at me and you. And there's no dualistic grasping if you only understand that all beings possess the same Buddha nature. And so although the Buddha taught 84,000 different Dharma teachings, ultimately they gather into a single meaning, and that is the two-fold truth, the two truths. So first there is the relative truth of karma, the infallibility of karma, cause and effect. And so that is where the Buddha taught that the only cause of happiness is the precious bodhicitta, and the cause of suffering is self-grasping. And so if we understand that, and we give up this cause of suffering, and we cultivate the cause of happiness, the precious bodhicitta, then we will realize the ultimate reality, the ultimate truth. And so first we must understand the relative, the conventional truth of karma. And we practice virtue, we give up non-virtue. And so what that means is all non-virtue actually comes from a selfish mind. So anything that we do with a self-grasping mind is non-virtuous, unvirtuous. And whatever we do with an altruistic mind is a virtuous action. So the altruistic mind is a mind of love and compassion, and that is like warmth. And the self-grasping mind is like ice. So we learned that already first when we take the refuge vow. When we take the refuge vow, we first encounter this warmth of love and compassion. And when then ultimately the ice block of self-grasping has melted, it becomes one with the ocean. And that is to attain enlightenment. And at that point one sees the ultimate truth, or the non-dual primordial wisdom. And so the Vajrayana, the secret mantra, is a method to realize this ultimate truth. If we do not understand the ultimate truth, then we perceive a duality of self and others. The various phenomena of samsara, in this worldly phenomena, we see it all in this dualistic way, appearing as separate entities. But ultimately, when we realize how things really are, we realize that everything is non-dual. We can understand that by understanding the nature of space. Within space, there is no duality, no division. And the Vajrayana, the secret mantra, is a method to understand that, to realize that. And that also must be based on the precious conventional bodhicitta of love and compassion. And if it is based on that, then all the practices will bear the same results. So all the practices which are based on bodhicitta are for the sake of ultimately realizing the ultimate truth. And in order to realize that, the Vajrayana is a swift, a quick path.
Achi Chokyi Drolma Ende Kangi di Garchen Rinpoche Garchen Rinpoche di Chuka Yamchemo Longo Dorje Labjerma Chuka Garchen Rinpoche Chuka Shibaten Jesi Mayole Musa Pepi Yore Tevena Tene Japtang Shla Yishiba Zena Tata Java Tamche Shilong Jeze Yishiba Tamche Toto Jupari Toyin Je Songzi Jupa Tosore Se Shla Ndo Samchin Ji Chalo Dramita Shivata Cho Po Mola Swa Mang Yabe Mambuyo Yang Nang Tuso de Jupari Javasam Shilong the Jade the Nism Yishi Napata Chuka Napata with the Rami Chongure Longa Chong Taverso Kodosam Jin Chalo Natoba the Yamsa Limpakami came Machina Kangi Yambuyo or Slaki Namsan on the Kikla no those. One Jashula Slaki Yami Jenny, Slashiba Tamte Theatre Yami Jenny, I didn't take your Slaki into Bujatan Yami Jenny. You want the Hachi out in it, don't have a Chabiyori, Dolam with any Sol Jones, Maram with any Sol Jones of Wangi. One bush unit, Slaki Yami Jenny to Fiori, Titan for coming to Fiori, Town one bush on. You didn't know. Clarity, Yamiche was song yore. The one returned there in the one bamboo show. Which is a clarity, American second one kick to a large community or at the Satan to top mounts only. The mountain of the Nipa or Mary, simply not just about voice rather than such a wanted to top my boss on me and say he was the sort of machine. Did you never have one you to look at each boy? I think it's me in Amsterdam. You want my boss in the shot of the sort of wine bar half over it.
And so the deity, the empowerment deity of today is Achi. It is an empowerment of Achi Chokyi Drolma, who actually is Tara by nature. So the Dharmakaya form is the great mother, the Dharmakaya great mother, The Sambhoga-kaya is Vajrayogini, and the Nirmana-kaya is the nature of Tara. And so the Nirmana-kaya is a form that appeared in the human world. But ultimately, all those deities are wisdom beings, and therefore they are one. It is said within the expanse of primordial wisdom, all the Buddhas are one. And so that expanse within which all Buddhas are one is that union of emptiness and compassion. That is the life essence, the mind essence of all the deities. So on the outer level, the deities appear in various forms with different body colors, implements, ornaments, and so on. Some are peaceful, some are wrathful, some are male, some are female. There are many different deities, but their mind essence is the same. Within the mind of primordial wisdom, all the deities are one. And so that is the primordial non-dual wisdom awareness. All the deities have a single mind essence. Then there's nothing wrong with receiving many empowerments and practicing only one deity. So there is a great variety of deities according to the mental capacities of sentient beings. So the only important point is the way in which we practice, how we engage in the practice. And so if you understand the way to properly practice the deity, which is to understand that the mind of all deities is the same, then it is sufficient if you only practice a single deity. So also, since she's an emanation of Tara, they give a brief account on Tara. And Tara is also called the mother of enlightened activities of all the Buddhas of the three times. So she accomplishes the enlightened activities of all the Buddhas, and also she's like their mother in this aeon, in this age. And so at this time, also in this time of our Buddha Shakyamuni, she appeared in the form of the Buddha Shakyamuni's mother, Maya Devi, who passed into the Pure Lands only 7 days after giving birth to the Buddha. So she appeared in this form in this world. And then also, the next time she appeared in this world, the Buddha Shakyamuni gave a prophecy that Chenrezig Avalokiteshvara should be the destined deity to tame the sentient beings in the land of Tibet. And when Chenrezig took on this commitment, Tara appeared promising to support his activities in Tibet. So then accordingly, Chenrezig appeared in the land of Tibet as the Dharma king Songtsen Gampo, and then Tara appeared as his supporter, his wife, the Chinese queen who brought the Chowo statue to Tibet. So that was the next time when she appeared, an emanation of Tara appeared. And then a third time, she also appeared at the time of Guru Rinpoche, Padmasambhava. When he came to Tibet, Tara appeared as his consort Yeshe Tsogyal, who also was an emanation of Tara. So Tara appears in many different ways. So these are just some famous names that people know. Tara is appeared in those the famous female forms, but then actually Tara also appears in many other ways in this world. Actually, any female who wishes to benefit sentient beings is an emanation of Tara. So therefore Tara appears in many inconceivable ways in this world, in many different religions and with many different names. So anyone basically who wishes to benefit sentient beings, who brings about the benefit and happiness of sentient beings, is an emanation of Tara. And likewise, any male person who is compassionate is an emanation of Chenrezig. So really, whoever has cultivated a boundless love and compassion for sentient beings is either Tara or Chenrezig. So again, in a more famous historical account, Tara appeared first as Maya Devi, the Buddha Shakyamuni's mother, and then again she appeared as the queen of the king Songtsen Gampo, actually the Chinese and the Nepali queens who brought two Chowo statues to Tibet. And then a third time she appeared as Guru Rinpoche's consort Yeshe Tsogyal.
이들이 직진성부대 사지 철자서를 잡다 고보를 듣고 봐는데 된 통급을 제대들이 로줄이 동지 이 동주의 체험 거요 이 동주의 체험 거요 이 동주의는 또 체대 배발해 배비들 강의들이 아주 소망 고총들이 그 마치마사들이 샤리 따라서 좀히 발로 Drolma ka mang de yung de lompa te ke drolma ka mang tho tri ti po mo tre drolma ta kon to te tri ti ta kon ko to sa de ke ra chi bo ya ki ra thang de tri ta mang ke sa cha ta ta sang se ke yo ha sa sa cha yo le tri ti ji ni ya chi le de ni le jum de ta sam ba de ni ji lo so tang se bi le chu ye yo le chu ji ro ma tho 그 많이 또 당부 드라마도 들이치 드라마도 그 제지들은 정절 동진 등 공세 전총 지년들이 대르주지 이제 계속 정절 동 총요래 그런 직진성 모델이 이제 반출에 제용 보건 다들이 다 대제주는 것도 방식에 되게 참 하래 되게 직진성과 앞치 차대요래 다 당부 드라마 되니 취지 드라마들이 앞시에지 진 숨니요래데 이마하지더니 직진성고 단진지가 제용까지 다 취지 드라마지 진직진성고 하정 흥제 내조 송요래다 북한의 제사를 나타독자 내가 제 용요래데 용내들이 이제 좀 많아서 이제 좀 된샤들다 다 잡디마데 송 저기 용제 내를 tor 마제가 수지 주주의 담겨있긴 나사세 용점매와 대답했더니 되니서다 그런 가지고 송박을 철대에 되니 앞서 취재로 마들 명성대 들이 차요래 들이 대연도 공까지 돼서 아주 접지로 많은 데와 침보 들이 다 앞서 득탑당 들이대라서 망대요래 앞서 로지에다가 이거를 로지스나 같이 가면서 아사를 이렇게 싸움하기 좋아해 하정들이 무슨 매를 펴면 애들이 가진 친구들이
Then regarding Achi, first of all, Achi belongs to the Jigong Kagyu lineage, and so that was actually founded by Lord Jigten Sumgön. And Lord Jigten Sumgön was the regent of the Buddha Shakyamuni and an emanation of Nagarjuna. And Jigten Sumgön was born to the clan line, like a family line of the Jura. And that was about to be, this clan lineage, this clan line was about to be interrupted. And before it was interrupted, Achi was born. And when she was born, immediately upon birth, she said the name of Tara. She said the Tara, a mantra of Tara. So that is why she first actually was called, was given the name Tara. So that was the first name she received. So Achi Chokyi Drolma, and the last one, Drolma, means Tara. So that was the first name she was given. And then she became quite famous as she grew up and she grew older, which was in like an area close in central Tibet, close to Lhasa. And so when she grew older, she also began to teach sentient beings with great love and compassion. So that's why the second name she received was Dharma or Chugim. So then she was Chokyi Drolma or Dharma Tara. So that's the second name she received. And then only later on, in order to sustain the Jura family or the clan lineage, she gave birth to 4 sons. And then some generations down, from this line of sons, Jigten Sumgön was born in the Jura clan lineage. And at that time, she supported the enlightened activities of Lord Jigten Sumgön, and is therefore also called an emanation of Tara. So that is when she then finally, at the time of Jigten Sumgön, received her last name, Achi, which is the great-grandmother. So she was the great-grandmother of Lord Jigten Sumgön through the family line. So therefore she was also given that name Achi. So then finally at the time of Jigten Sumgön, her name was complete, Achi Chokyi Drolma or Achi Dharma Tara. And at the time of Lord Jigten Sumgön fell very ill. He fell ill with leprosy, which at that time in Tibet was the worst disease, an incurable disease. And while he was ill, he prayed to Tara, and 7 Taras appeared to him. And at that time he composed this prayer, the 7 verses of supplication for protection to Tara. And after having done so, he was completely cured from his illness. And by the blessings of that, it is said that in this lineage, in his Dharma lineage, this sickness of leprosy will not again appear. So therefore Achi became very special to the Jigong Kagyu lineage, since it was started by Lord Jigten Sumgön and she was his great-grandmother. So she became the protector of the Jigong Kagyu teachings in particular. And that is also why now in the Jigong Kagyu lineage we have a very strong connection to Achi, and there are many sadhanas and so on. So that is just a brief story. We also have a historical account which is very brief and maybe not so clear, so I wanted to clarify some points of the history. So she is actually a great being, an emanation of Tara, who appeared as a human being in this world. So then I will read the historical account of this empowerment. So it is the Dharma empowerment of Achi Chokyi Drolma, the protectress of the teachings. May all sentient beings extensive as space attain the sublime state of the victorious Mother Vajrayogini. The essence of all the precious teachings of the perfectly complete Buddha is the view of Mahamudra, the meditation of the 6 yogas of Naropa, and the conduct of the single essence of the 3 vows. the foremost of all protectors of the heart essence of the teachings of the ultimate truth and of the precious teachings of Lord Drikungpa, is the Dharmadhatu Samantabhadri. The Sambhogakaya are the female Buddhas of the 5 Buddha families. The Nirmanakaya is Vajravarahi. Not wavering from the 3 kayas in order to protect the teachings of the practice lineage and tame sentient beings, she appeared in the Chura clan as Achi Chokyi Drolma. Having accomplished the activities of her noble lineage, she composed her own sadhana. Not leaving her mortal body behind, she finally departed to the Dakini land of Orient. In order to protect the teachings, she manifested as the Dharma protectress Achi, protecting the teachings as a Buddha in human form. She became the chief protectress of Changjubling, the Tibetan Magadha, the main seat of the Drikung teachings. The blessings and compassion of this incomparable protectress are powerful and her enlightened activities swift. Vajra holder in order to completely purify all defilements of body, speech, and mind, please bestow the ripening empowerment that ripens our mind.
왕 자신아, 민지 왕 지와지 공권, 왕 자신은 네 바지야, 선합자 토고요. 마미가 강에 뭐를 독심기 참기라, 매도 사용도 사지 교요래, 무속자 종매가 세계 상태라, 내성수 세계가 사용요래, 얘는 사용의 물을 못지도 다치 보이지, 물을 못지도 예바도 추천 주바라서 소나무나 물을 타고요. 물을 타봤는데 매도 사용의 사 정체는 이 매도 카마를 나보다로 차대요. 그리고 그 공통의 매도다로 차대요. 무슨 계산한 동하고요. 그러다가 자서 매도 사용들이 남자 성들이 차대요. 이 뒤에다가 윤집발이 매도 동보지가 이 카마를 매도 감다가 물을 못해 참아지 마서와 호마물로 말이지 물이 인이도 감독이 물을 못해 이게 답을 주동세 봐 같이 오면서 마타도 챙기더니 내도 감독이 잡아서 내마다 챙기더니 내도 가지 그 상계가 감독이 내도 어때도 상호받는 건 정도에 이제 제발보다 얼마 때 양상한테 세면 이 상하왕의 동전이 하고요래. 드니데 왕주는데 초바데 레야 요래 드니 문의 동전에 드니 왕 좋아요 보요래. 이거는 라마 강근의 왕주나 왕에서 제발요면 왕에서 합직바래. 주위는 왕 도고요래 소소가. 이 사람들 남칸한테 그요래. 소풍은 뭐 좋지요래. 이렇게 보요래. 마음이 민지 왕소시. 이게 좀 맞지, 나지가 좀 맞다 그러고래. 누구 좀 맞지, 이런 거 다 그러고래. 너는 누가 있을 때 좀 막, 대다워서 하고는 왕동다 시주기 신고를 해야지.
So it said here the ripening empowerment. So if we understand if you receive 100 empowerments, but understand that they all are in order to ripen, and then only receiving one empowerment bears the same blessings. Receiving 100 empowerments then becomes 100 blessings. So what is it that is unripe now? It is the mind of all sentient beings in the 6 realms. Their mind is like a seed. They all possess the Buddha nature, the cause of enlightenment. For example, a little insect or a sentient being without a body in the 3 lower realms, they all have this seed of mind. But then of all those types of birth, the precious human body is very precious, and that is, first of all, we have received this precious human body because we have practiced merit of generosity, ethical discipline, and patience, and so on. So that seed of mind has encountered soil and water and has grown into a flower bud. But the flower bud is not yet opened, has not yet blossomed. And so the Vajramaster is like the blossomed flower. The Vajramaster understands the meaning of the secret mantra of the Vajrayana. And the deity is then the seeds emerging from that flower, like a rainbow in the sky. So the continuum is the same. It is the same continuum of a flower growing. So all of us who have received the precious human body are like this not yet opened flower bud. So if you understand it that way, then we make no distinctions between I'm a Buddhist or he's not a Buddhist and so on. Anyone who possesses a precious human body with the 6 elements has a precious human body. It's the same. But then it is also important that we encounter the Dharma. If we encounter the skillful means of Vajrayana, then this flower bud will receive the rain and the sun to open up and blossom. And then when it opens up and blossoms, we attain enlightenment. And then from this one flower, countless many more seeds emerge. So it is really just like the continuum of a single flower. So think about this again and again. If that really is clear in your mind, then you really understand the meaning of secret mantra. Then an actual feeling arises when you receive the empowerment. Then the empowerment really will get some flavor. There's a feeling that arises within you. And so then it doesn't make a difference from which Lama you receive an empowerment. The blessings of any empowerment are always the same. And moreover, people also can receive the empowerment through the internet from far away, for example, because the blessings of the deity pervade space. And the Vajra Master only introduces you to the meaning of the empowerment. So that is the meaning of the ripening here. That is why it is called the ripening empowerment. So it is the ripening occurs when the obscurations of the mind are cleared away. That is when self-grasping is purified, and when the defilements of the body are cleared away through the generation stage, and the obscurations of the speech are purified through the mantra recitation. So by receiving the empowerment, in this way we ripen our body, speech and mind by purifying the defilements, the stains of our body, speech and mind. So in this way we should understand the meaning of the empowerment.
Rove, Gela, Ji Rang, Sangye, Changche, Yi Ji Zong, Sangye, Chu Dang, Chong Cho La, Changche, Barde, Da Jiang Qi, Rang Yin, Tong Yi, Rab Drab Ser, Chang Che, Sem Ne, Ji Bar Ji, Chang Che, Cho Ke, Sem Ne, Ji Ji Ne, Sem Ji, Tam Ji, Da Ki, Rong Te Nier, Chang Che, Zhu Cho, Yi Ong, Jie Bar Ji, Ro La, Pin Ser, Sang Jie, Zhe Bar Shou.
In English, I take refuge in the three jewels and confess each and every wrongdoing. I rejoice in the virtues of sentient beings and shall hold the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dear in my heart until attaining enlightenment. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly in order to fully accomplish the purpose of others and myself. I shall give rise to bodhicitta, having given rise to the Supreme Mind of Enlightenment. I welcome all sentient beings. I will practice the Supreme Bodhisattva conduct that is pleasing to all. may I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all beings.
이제 왕강을 장도 semchi 구바디 동 강을 되나 이 탑장 보되더니 사제 투제 지내더니 소당 하서 람들은 봤는데 사제 투제 지가 람데다가 땜바리에 대해서니 장보고 잡선도 semchi 그때 소소거든요. 삼바된 힘께 난지기 뭐 삼행기 소소 공부네 람출 잡선 조지 우리 잡대들이 삼행기인데 이 잡선 조지 이 탑을 드니 너가 예수 들어봤다 빨았더니 상하지에로 나서 봐 탑 데려더니 장도 생기 같이 와서 데려야
So in all the empowerments in the beginning we take refuge and we cultivate the motivation of bodhicitta, and that is because first we remember the kindness of the Buddha who taught the 3 levels of the path of Pratimoksha, Bodhisattva and Vajrayana vehicles. So we take refuge in the Buddha, and then also we cultivate the right motivation of love and compassion, as it is an antidote to self-grasping. And that is something that we ourselves must habituate, we must cultivate. So therefore we also take refuge in the Dharma as the path, which in other words means we take refuge in love and compassion, our own love and compassion. And then on the basis of that, we rely on the skillful means of secret mantra to purify the obscurations of our body, speech and mind through the generation stage and so on. And so that is why it is so important that we always take refuge and cultivate the mind of bodhicitta when we receive an empowerment. So once Achi Chokyi asked Guru Rinpoche, and they say that those wisdom deities are so precious and there are so many of them, where do they actually come from? And Guru Rinpoche replied, what we call a deity is actually arising from bodhicitta. All deities appear from bodhicitta. And so therefore, although there might be tens and thousands of deities, their mind is the same. It is a bodhicitta. And so therefore, the moment you have this mind state of I want to benefit all sentient beings, that state of mind, that is the mind of the deity. And from that mind, the deity will arise. So therefore, between the body and the mind is most important. So when compassion arises, that is the deity. So that is how we should identify or recognize the deity. It is the mind that wishes to benefit all sentient beings. For example, you wish to benefit all the beings in this world and so on. So that state of mind, that mind that wishes to benefit others, think that this mind becomes the syllable Shri, a white syllable Shri. And you can visualize that in any kind of form, for example, in Tibetan or Chinese, English or your own language, it doesn't make a difference. So think about this Shri and think it is white, radiant with light. And that Shri is the mind of the deity. So through the practice, ultimately, we want to merge our mind with the mind of the deity. So to do that, first we bring to mind, you visualize a white syllable Shri.
是光的，而且个把的你老不能融入过来，没怎么一个是光，你打没打的这个你，而且个把浪子打，而且去做问题的是我是说的，这个事情我讲的，你就把，或者什么下入过来，下入干了的你，哪里嘛啥，经里嘛啥，什么下的这个有的对了，说把它说不了的。
So then now visualize this stream and hold the image of Achi that you have received in your hands, and then close your eyes and meditate on that syllable stream. And then later, when I ask you to open your eyes, then at once look at this image of Achi and recognize Achi. Think that this is Achi, like identifying, like recognizing someone you know, that is Achi. And so then from this tree, then slowly the full form, the complete form of the deity will appear in your mind. So when you visualize this tree or the deity, do not think in terms of self or other, just without any thinking of that, visualize the syllable tree. So then you can open your eyes and then have this, look at the image of Achi, and then have this image appear in your mind, and then repeat this again and again, again and again, close your eyes and have this image appear in your mind. And so then later when you actually practice Achi, and then whenever you close your eyes, the deity will appear to you. Or if it is just a syllable Shri, and the deity should appear. First you look at it with your eyes, and then you close your eyes and then have this image of Shri or the deity appear in your mind. So this empowerment is conferred based on the Dharma. So that is based on the Dharma, we are authorized to engage in practice. And so the Dharma and a vase, for example, or a stupa, that we put on our altar have the same benefits. So often at home you put a vase or a stupa or a dorma on your shrine, and they all have the same benefit. And the dorma in general has four different qualities. The first one is the dorma represents the immeasurable palace of the deity. So even though the dorma is small, it is the immeasurable palace of the deity. That is, all the wisdom deities abiding in space fit into the dorma. So the dorma becomes actually very large then, filling up space. And then also it can be very small. So all the deities like mustard seeds then are complete within a small dorma too. The first benefit is, or the first way to see the dorma is as the immeasurable palace of the deity, which is like a large hotel. Then the second way to see the dorma is that the dorma also represents the deity itself. So within that hotel or within that dorma, many countless hundreds and thousands of deities abide. So the dorma becomes large and many deities abide within that. So the dorma also is the deity. And then thirdly, the dorma also is an offering. Just like in a big hotel, there are many sense pleasures, there are many enjoyments like swimming pools and food, and so you can think whatever you're wishing for. The dorma is filled with various offering gods and goddesses that bestow all sorts of sense pleasures. So it is an offering. And then the fourth benefit or the fourth way of seeing the dorma is the dorma also represents a blessing. So at the end of the empowerment, we normally eat part of the dorma dough, and then that dough that we eat is the blessing. Because the bodhicitta of the deity has melted into the dorma. So then when we eat part of it, then we receive the blessing. And also the blessing is the four enlightened activities that are then accomplished through this practice. So the pacifying activity that pacifies illness, all harm and obstacles and so on. And then the increasing activity that increases merit and lifespan and so on. And the overpowering activity that overpowers all desirables in this universe. And then the subjugating activity that subdues various obstacles and all sorts of harm, any sorts of hindrances. So today, the blessing of the dorma is represented by the blessing pills, the mani pills that you receive later. And these pills are blessed by the Buddha and many Mahasiddhas, many great masters. So the blessings of the dorma are transmitted also through these blessing pills. So these represent the blessing. So these are the four ways to see the dorma. And so also, if it is difficult to visualize this entire visualization today, just think that, look at this image, the picture above the dorma. There's this little picture on top of the dorma, and think that this picture is the reflection of all the deities that abide in space. So the deities which are always in space are reflected in this picture. And the deities actually are always there, always abide and pervade space. The Sambhogakaya possesses 5 types of certainty, due to which they always are present. They pervade, the Dharmakaya nature of the deities pervades space, and then the Sambhogakaya, all the deities, they are always present wherever space pervades. And then if we supplicate to those deities, then like raindrops falling down, they grant their blessings. So think that these empowerment deities are reflected within this image above the dorma, and think that then from the dorma light radiates and it touches your body and purifies all obscurations of body, speech, and mind. Then having purified all obscurations, think that you have actually become the actual deity, appearing like a rainbow in the sky.
多农党方才在有文报个保安看着就跟他说这吧，我说多么一种把地区就专门，啥有多多把这个这会我们个帮这吧，俺们包头个红包那边去把这个，这问我了，我这个包主要他们这会咱们我。咱们这都没有玩，各位国家的老绿了，叫我绿的，这把他叫呢，这没国家黄头，我们干嘛的那个他妈的嘞，我妈的个做我个呀别个做，多嘛呢？我这个包个差，这里他们去国际人不就不往头上去。
So think that from the Dharma a white light radiates, and this empowers you to practice the generation stage, the visualization of the deity's form. Thus you have obtained the form-based empowerment of the mistress of space, Chokyi Drolma. The obscurations of the body are purified, and you are endowed with the fortune of attaining the Nirmana Kaya as a result. So then think that from the throat of the Dharma, red light radiates, and think that it pervades like nectar pervades the entire universe, and then it enters into the throat, the speech of beings, and by entering the speech, think that you have received the mantra empowerment to recite the deity's mantra. And this then think it has the power, you develop the power to perceive all sounds as the sound of mantra. Thus you have obtained the secret speech empowerment of the mistress of space, Chokyi Drolma. The obscurations of speech are purified, and you are endowed with the fortune of attaining the Sambhogakaya as a result. So then for the speech empowerment, think that from space mantra syllables shower down like raindrops falling down, and then think that they enter your speech and then begin to circle around the white Shri syllable. So think in this way when you repeat the mantra.
Om Mama Chakra Soha.
Om Mama Chakra Soha.
Yardu. Savandu. Randandu. Mamandu. Hong Pei. Soha. Om Gama. Ajita. Shora. Dharma Dara Mama Zaka Soha Da Tomal Hartava took only was in the water, Roman in Kaltabako, Honga, they told me one go took you. Nothing of Sena, you was in Jabata Journey, to me took you one of your home, after that, your other mother, Mama, so the big da be khen da to ro re ya ro ji ro la ni yi ge shi ka bo de ni do ji pa lam da re yo de ni yi bo yo re ji.
So then later when you receive this little pill, think that within this pill there is a white soluble shrimp like a diamond. So I think that you're thinking in this way when you're eating the pill as a whole.
ro de so ja yo ma ro de de nyam de tong wo re de mi je wo re ro so ja ni me.
So then also when you receive the pill, you drink it together with the nectar and don't bite on it, but swallow it as a whole.
Achi Chokyi Drolma top chirap yi jo wang top yi je drapa ta de we chu jo kon drapa ka pa yin da se ba ye no ni top wang de zo ni sa ba de jing jing de da sa tam ji ge tu so de le se la xi ba tam ji tu so de sa ba de ni je sa ba ji ka ju ji na o sha ni te le sam bo le.
And so for the mind empowerment, what is most important is the mind of love and compassion. That is the mind essence of all the wisdom deities. And so whenever it arises in your mind, whenever love and compassion arises in your mind, then that is the actual deity. When there is compassion, also wisdom arises. So it says, thus you have obtained the awareness, wisdom, empowerment of the mind of the mistress of space, Chokyi Drolma. The obscurations of mind are purified, and you are endowed with the fortune of attaining the Dharmakaya as a result.
치고 차선 줄거든 선당 남카다고 잘지 남카를 님이가 하고 람비 그더니 류니리마도 다긴 셈님도 독서 하고 듣고 그래 이 고아래 줄거든 선 남카다고 하고를 줄거든 뒤 듣고 그래서 말아봐 선당 남카 체면 주고 롬도 저 봐인서.
So then the mind empowerment is more significant even than that of the body and speech. And so that is the mind, what is significant is the mind of love and compassion. So when great love and compassion arises in your mind becomes very vast, like space, pervading wherever space pervades. And that is the nature of the Dharmakaya, like space. So we can understand naturally that within space there is no duality. There is only a duality in bodies, but not within the mind. So that is an understanding that we gain. And so when you understand that within space there is no duality, then you have understood the Dharmakaya. As Müller-Repa had said, when you realize that there is no distinction between the mind and space, you have actualized perfectly actualized the Dharmakaya.
Porda Jibanam Jeo, Tawado Jiba Jiba Babina Matabanam Jeo, Katatama Madawa, Sajati Baton, Pojogoma Bato, the brother Doji Roman de Anam Jeo, the Vayam Nakamaki, the Dawn, the Dubajet of Jim. Jawada, Jipaya, Jipa, Yeta Churu, Jopata, Sanjalaba. Jajibonze da mar muje mona to je wanga ma chu je yong ko yong shi ji ne je de ga to jo wanga to le je wanga je de ba de lo ya da na da wa to je do ma ji je do ma ta de do ma wa ga ma cha da le je fa no ma to mo do je de mo mo lo do ma de ko do wa de je do wa ju le do Pani Juja Suma, Suma, Panyan, the Jija, Tebasuma, Chaja, Basuma, the Chinama, Jilla, Sandamanga, Tugilo, Stormanga, the Hama Jang, Obama, and the Janaja, the Jokota Jiban, the Koyakuna, the Jalatos of the Songo, the Jalatos of the Tujabona, the Jalatos of the Vijabona, the Jalatos of the Chaleja, the Jalatos. Particularly, Javan Transit, young Topper, Lamna Tibet, the Sumata, Chepan, Zoche, the Sanchoma, Soka, Bother, Lamaya, Solo, no, so the Lord of One that are entertained the young people, so to get Jazzy, Taki, the Telepono, watch out, your funding was the water the year that the God of the treasure, so all, so watch it out, the one and the watch. Loa Jabatan Condition, Chotomon, Obama, but the lot of the Holocaust, a lot of one, he was also very just there. I hear that the language captured by George and the other Bala. Bala, what they are to the thousand years, Johnson, Mother, Tachi, Charter, Bedo, Charsaman, Bazo, James of the Babalana to Bother, the Lana, the Lord, Jejubarlamata, he go out, he continued to teach you of Pama, you did a teacher, so did you never know, they want to go Pamo to go to his home, or minute to know about the Marma. Continue about the Bama, the Junior Gado, or the Baba, your boss had it there, the Mama, the was a judge, and the mother, the other, or Moja. He was about to do Juju, about the Juju, and the son of the told you, believed it, he showed on her own, you use Mana, you are net and your model and children, and you know, when you're from the so tam chik zong zong tini la ka tam chik tam cham mangbo yo re tini la re nga re tini tam cha zong ya re zaba tam chik de kye chenpo re ka dino poma koso tam che nyami tam cham mangbo yo re zaba sa chuk ching re chubong je te jidong ka zaba sa chuk ching re zo dapo jaya tam chik ziba de ni kap thori zang ta chuk saji kompang thori ya sam che de re There are number draw zong Senki Tamji, so Tamji, somebody needed Gongo, Pamai Gongo, there are somebody coming on the Ragan Bar, dropped about it, needed Zuba Gore, you say what the Zuba, you get you something for the buy. They, I tell you, don't massage some of them, but Tamaka Mambo show. One coming there, don't say what is Jubanya Yamada, Munitini, neck up toys and Tato Saji, Mogojin, I put the top of your head. I'm taking muscle only the one you don't drama, you don't draw. Kasi want to pull my away. Oh, one my dinner too, Magichi Chela, taking Sona, Rami, and all the Petilitini, little Sancho Central Boche, the 인죽세 지디제 지디지들이 왕께서도 보통 마음대 뵙죠고요. 그렇게 좋은 못 찾아서 그냥 미소자 왕께는 근데 뵙 나온지 아주 좀 보지 지디제
So then lastly it is said the life force of the empowerment is the Samaya. And so for the Samaya in general, There are many different branch samayas, and also each deity has their own mantra that we promise to recite and so on. But then what is most important actually is the root samaya. And so that various of the disciples, you practice all sorts of different practices. But no matter what you practice, the essence of all of these various practices is bodhicitta. The 84,000 different Dharma teachings are included within bodhicitta only. And if you only have that, if you only have love, then as a result, temporarily, you're born in the higher realms and ultimately attain enlightenment. So that is really our root samaya to keep. It is love. And that begins with those companions that surround you, that always are with you. And then all other sentient beings, all life forms, all beings. We must cultivate love and compassion for them all. So when we regard them all as our parents, that is what we call love. And then when these parent sentient beings encounter difficulties, we want to protect them, and that is compassion. And then also, in order not to lose our love, we need to cultivate patience. And that is really the most supreme commitment of any Sangha. So therefore, we always, many of you have received a refuge vow or bodhisattva vow and so on. And it is actually always the same. And it is therefore also the same when we receive an empowerment. The root samaya, the root commitment of all those vows is love and patience. And if you never separate from that, then temporarily you will always be born in the higher realms and ultimately you attain enlightenment. Even if you are not wishing for it, you can't help but attain enlightenment. And so often people do not dare to receive an empowerment because of the samaya. But if we do not keep the samaya of love and patience, it actually makes no difference whether or not we have received an empowerment. If you have not received an empowerment and you have no love and no patience and you practice negative, you do negative things, then just naturally you are born in the three lower realms. So to represent our commitment of love and patience, we will repeat in English the prayer for precious bodhicitta to arise. And after having done that, you can come up one by one to receive the empowerment. And it has taken a little bit of a long time. So after you have received the empowerment, then you are free to leave for this evening. So that is... So we repeat, do you know what page that is? This one, yeah. So please repeat. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, word is unborn, made arise, word is born, made not decline, but ever increase, higher and higher.
Bây giờ chúng ta lặp lại bằng tiếng Việt cầu nguyện phát Bồ Đề Tâm. Bồ Đề Tâm Vương, tâm tối thượng, tâm vô cùng chân quý. Nơi tâm ấy chưa sinh, xin cho tâm ấy nảy sinh. Nơi tâm ấy đã sinh, sinh cho tâm ấy đừng bao giờ thoái chuyển, mà vĩnh viễn, mỗi ngày, mỗi vươn lên cao hơn.
think we that you just take your time. You'll start here, and then you can either sit back or you can leave. So you can make a way here in the middle, please.
So later when you come up to receive the empowerment, just so you know, Rinpoche will touch your three places, your crown, your throat and your heart. And then also you will receive the pill, so you receive the pill together with the nectar in the palm of your hand, and then you drink it all together, drink the nectar pill without biting on it, and then half of the nectar water, you wipe it onto your crown.
Thưa một chút nữa, khi mà chúng ta lên nhận quán đảnh từ Rinpoche đó thì Rinpoche sẽ chạm vào 3 nơi ở trên thân của chúng ta, là ở đỉnh đầu, ở cổ họng và ở ngay tâm điểm, tức là ngay tim của chúng ta. Và chúng ta cũng sẽ đón nhận được một viên pháp dược và một chút nước cam lộ. Và khi mà chúng ta đón nhận nước cam lộ và pháp dược thì chúng ta uống chung pháp dược và nước cam lộ với nhau. Và xin nhớ là đừng có cắn cái viên pháp dược đó, mà hãy nuốt trọn vẹn cái viên pháp dược đó với lại nước cam lộ. Và cái phần còn lại của nước cam lộ thì chúng ta bôi lên trên đỉnh đầu của chúng ta.
When you come up, please receive the empowerment on top of your head, throat level, heart chakra, sacral chakra. So the 4 points: crown, throat, heart, sacral chakra. Up to Rinpoche, receive the empowerment in 4 chakras: crown, throat, heart, secret chakra. Drink the consecrated nectar water, put on the crown, and then the pills. Swallow the pill whole.
Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sava Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sava Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Mama Taka So Yan Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Randa Randa De Mama De Hong
Hello. Dear everyone, before you leave, please kindly leave all daily prayer books back to the table. So thank you very much. Don't take it with you because that's from the center. Thank you.
Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Mama De Hong Be So Mama Taka So Yan Sarva Randa Randa De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Oi Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Oi Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Oi Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Oi Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De The Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva Ranja Ranja De Mama De Hong Be So Mama Sutra Su Yan De Sarva run the mama de home so mama saka so ayan de sarva run the mama de home so mama saka so ayan sarva run the mama de home so kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan thân chỉ cũng đang thực hiện run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan sarva run the mama de home so mama kaso yan Ronzo ronzo de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Ronzo ronzo de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Ronzo ronzo de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so mama jaka so yan de sarva Randa randa de mama de home so
Is there anybody going to Washington, D.C.? We need a ride for somebody going back to New York.